Earlier this year, the Obama administration told us the stimulus bill was going to be the salvation of our economic woes. They predicted unemployment would top out at 8%, and they claimed that jobs would be created or saved immediately. Well, we've been a significant amount of time since since it was passed, and our economic woes haven't changed. In fact, the numbers are in stark contrast to what we see today. Unemployment now is at 9.4%, and it's headed towards double digits. Just this week, CNN reported that Americans saw $1.3 trillion of wealth vaporize in the first quarter of 2009. Despite the massive government spending, foreclosures continue, car dealerships are closing, and layoffs continue. Home values have continued to decline, and the stock market is down 40% from last year. Our government is borrowing money it does not have, inflating programs and projects we do not need. Recently, it was reported that over 100 wasteful projects were funded through this stimulus bill. There is a project that includes thousands of signs at $300 each to brag about the projects paid for into this bill. There are projects here that could have been funded under regular order. There's $2.2 million for a state-run liquor warehouse to put skylights in the installation. There's $3.4 million for road tunnels for turtles. Tunnels for turtles. Now, it seems like maybe the turtles will need the signs to find the tunnels. There's over $40 billion in a state slush fund, and there's money for education, and Secretary of Education Duncan has admitted he doesn't know how to spend it. This is your stimulus at work here in America. Taxpayers don't understand why so much money is being wasted so quickly with nothing to show for it. My amendment on the floor today and other legislation. Now, at a time when Americans are pulling back on their spending and saving more, our government should do the same. The first quarter of this year, household debt fell by an annual rate of 1.1% to $13.8 trillion. Instead of following our constituents' actions, though, our government continues to spend money that we do not have. And when our government spends money that we do not have, one of two things happen. Either we borrow it from countries like China, and since China isn't buying our debt now, the other solution is that our federal government prints money. We have had the Fed pump over $1 trillion of new money into our economy. The problem with the infusion of new money into our economy like this is that it causes inflation. When you have more money available for roughly the same amount of goods, you get inflation. The equation is very simple. More money we print, the less our money is worth. And inflation hits our retired Americans the worst. They're on fixed incomes. It hits the working poor the hardest, people who are just getting by. And when you take purchasing value away from them, they're worse off. These Americans have worked too hard for their money to see the actions of the Federal Reserve drastically reduce its value. Our economic instability and uncertainty is making America bonds toxic. Even countries like China and Brazil are turning their nose up at U.S.-held securities in favor of International Monetary Fund bonds. Let's follow our constituents' lead. Let's slow the Treasury's printing press. Let's cut up our Chinese credit card and act responsibly by repealing the portion of unobligated funds in the stimulus and pay for the portion of this bill today before